Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's House, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope you're all doing well. Where did our summer go? Our kids are back to school. First day of school in Newburyport. Can you believe that time of year has arrived? Mike Testa joins us now. He's the assistant principal over at Newburyport High School. First time on the show, Mike. How is that possible?
It is the first time. I'm not sure. You might explain to me what I'm doing here, Drew.
Jim Antonelli, he's the dean of students, right?
Correct.
He told me you're one of his favorites, so I'm surprised that you being one of his favorites, I'm surprised it's your first time on this show.
Jim is a good man, but he might have set me up. We'll see.
Very good, very good. I did ask you. You told me it'll be a funny story for air. You're wearing a Newburyport basketball shirt, but you're not the.
I'm not
coach.
a coach. I'm just a fan of the program. But about 2 hours ago, I'm thinking, why didn't I wear any Clipper gear if I'm going to be on Drew's show today?
There you go.
I asked Kathy Cutter, the athletic secretary, for the key to the storage area.
Sure.
And then I'm shopping around for Clipper gear down in the basement of the school about an hour ago. So I got to represent if I'm going to be on the show.
Might I say it's a good fit? I think it's a keeper.
So yeah, that's not going back in the storage room.
Perfect. That's outstanding. Good basketball program you guys have too.
Yeah. Both sides, boys and girls. So
but you have nothing to do with it. Okay.
No.
Oh man, so you excited here? Is this a fun time of year for an assistant principal? Is it stressful? Where are we at?
It's just this secular cycle of emotions year after year coming back. It's nice to have the summer to refresh. July is really slow generally, and then once the calendar turns to August, you get that school opening anxiety, making sure everything's going to go smooth, that we're all buttoned down. And we, of course, starting after Labor Day this year, it's a little bit later than it typically is in Newburyport. A lot of schools had opened just past week. So,
what's your preference? Do you like the post Labor Day open, or?
I'm starting to get familiar with this and having all of August off in case there's any bugs you still need to work out for a smooth opening. But next school year, my understanding is we'd be back to doing the 2 days of school for students the week before Labor Day, like we've done in Newburyport for many, many years. So I would say I kind of like that.
Okay.
Because if anything's funky or two classes just show up and they are assigned to the same room, there are those kinds of bugs you got to work out. And we get the 2 days of all that stuff. Yeah. And then you hit the ground running after a 4-day week. So I think we'll resume that in the next school year coming up. Okay.
Mayor Sharon Reardon was telling me there's probably not like a more discussed topic than like the before or after Labor Day start, like this time of year. It's like, and he doesn't, I think he prefers earlier, but he wasn't like super strongly about it. He said it is one of those things that people are kind of strong about, but I don't know. It's good to probably, I think benefits to both.
Last year in Newburyport, I think was the first time in my years here that it was an after Labor Day start.
Okay.
And I believe it has to do with some language in the teacher contract.
Yeah.
If a certain date falls on a certain number, then it will be before versus be after. So the calendar, I guess, just drives when it will be. So.
Yeah. Well, here's a good first question for you. I'm curious, what are the duties of an assistant principal?
The best part is in my contract and all other duties assigned by the principal.
It's a very vague line.
It can be all of those things.
Yeah.
A lot of it, there's a lot of student management and oversee staff and students and the building and the facilities with the principal facilities director. So involved in hiring, involved in teacher evaluation, and then along with that, dean of students that you mentioned earlier. In terms of working with students, we split up the kids by grade level, and that's really to help ensure good attendance, tardiness, dealing with any discipline that might come up. So, and just general supervision.
Not much of that at Newburyport, right? Come on.
It's a great place.
Well answered. Do you have to, so I imagine, like if you're, Andy Wolf is the principal.
Correct.
I would imagine you're his right-hand man.
We spend a lot of time together.
How does your job come about? Does he handpick you, or do you go through a different process? Or I imagine he needs to trust you.
He kind of inherited me. So.
He did, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, this is my 15th year now in this role in Newburyport, so it's only the second principal I've been with.
Yeah.
Mike Parent was principal for the first 6 or 7 years that I worked as the assistant principal. He retired, so I kind of, to flip your question, I almost got to handpick Andy, which was nice because I was a big part of the hiring process.
Yeah.
And he came in the same year that Mr. Gallagher became superintendent. So it was a big summer of change.
Sean Gallagher.
New principal, and then Sean Gallagher as the superintendent. So I believe they're both entering year 8.
Wow.
So no, poor Andy didn't get to pick me. But he is my supervisor and my direct boss.
Yes, the other way around though. That's right. Yeah, because you do have a big hand in picking the principal. That's funny. The on like a day-to-day basis, would you like? Because I imagine that relationship does not. You would not still be in your job. You'd probably go crazy if you didn't like the guy or at least work well with him, right? I mean, that has to be like a dynamic duo, I would imagine.
Yep. Yeah. His brain never stops. He's like highly creative and just works his butt off. He's in the building like round the clock. He's there early, stays late. And my understanding is that's not just because he has the title of principal. I think he's always been that way from his earlier days as an educator when he was a teacher, and then as a curriculum leader, and then kind of like a dean of students type of role back in his prior district. He's just a really, really dedicated hard worker. So I feel sometimes like in the late afternoon, I almost need to sneak out of the building because he's still in there grinding away. But yeah, we work well together.
I wonder, like, do you get to the point you spend so much time? I wonder, like, can you almost anticipate, like, he's going to need me for this? I'm not going to say finish each other's sentences, but it's start anticipating what he needs, and he probably doesn't even have to ask anymore.
Oh my God! When we were planning for the reopening during the COVID years, that was like his second year there, maybe.
Oh yeah.
But it was really just like the two of us. Like staff were all remote. We're in the building. Some custodians weren't in. Some secretaries weren't in. And so when we finally opened up the next fall, and we had a million small group meetings, so we couldn't have a whole grade together.
Sure.
So we'd have to do the senior class, and we're welcoming them all back and talking about protocols. And finally, it was just like, I am so glad to have you kids back in the building. Yeah. It has just been so much, Mr. Wolf, just me and him.
I kind of like, there was a period where we had to talk about COVID when we were coming out of it. And at one point I was like, I think we can move on and not go back to say, how's life post-COVID? But it is funny from your perspective, because I remember like kids being thrilled to go back. Like kids never didn't realize how much they missed school, which is kind of must have been an interesting dynamic for you.
Yeah, and with Andy, I mean, he is a real big thinker. And then he comes into me and says, "Oh, logistics guy, thanks, you bailed me out." Like, you didn't think to tell the food service people we're changing the schedule when our advisory days meet. So things like that. Kind of the operational stuff of the building.
Yeah, man, those are crazy times. Again, Mike Testa joining us here. Is he assistant principal over at Newburyport High School? Anything big? I remember at the end of last year, you guys had thrown some big changes in for this year. What cell phone policies is a big
That'll
one?
That's going to be the biggest thing. Yeah. And we're going to have to see how it goes. Some things work, some things don't.
It's almost like
a commitment to this. And
don't use them. That's
it's going to be really resemble how they manage it at the middle school, yet dealing with it with kids who are like ages about 14 through 18 years old, which makes it the difference.
They're always on the phone, right?
And it's going to be hard, I think, for all of us adults to model it too. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm on my phone a bit at work. Like when I'm walking down the hall, I might catch up on an email while I'm going up to a classroom or something. So
and that's supposed to be
away. Like
no more hallway
It's going to
work.
be hard for the teachers, substitute teachers, staff members in the building to not. Even when kids are taking a test, you might check something, but we got to try to model it as best we can. The expectation in entering this year is that students can use them at lunchtime only at the high school.
Okay. Before it was hallways and library,
it was
right?
and as directed at teacher discretion during instruction. So maybe they just as a web browser or something to look something up on. I mean, we're supposed to be a one-to-one school. We're trying to go with iPads for all kids. It's a bring your own device school, so kids might have a PC or a laptop or a different Apple device. So we're going to have to become more mindful of not the convenience of the phone, like from an adult perspective. And when we were starting to think about this change last year, I'm thinking of the number of QR codes that are posted around our building for clubs, activities, international trips, just trying to promote and get information out. But even that is meant to be like quick scan on the phone.
Exactly.
And so we've got these posters made up that are going to go in every classroom now. And managing the hallways will be interesting to see how that happens. And is that realistic? But lunchtime for now. So
I mean, part of it is the hard part, and I know you've probably thought about this. No teacher wants to be like handing out penalties to kids all day.
Right.
Especially ones that aren't really misbehaving. I mean, using a cell phone is not necessarily misbehaving, but it is breaking this new rule. So it's like I know it's going to be an adjustment for you guys. Like because kids are going to test you, right? It's
that's generally what happens when you put 750 adolescents in one building. That can happen. So that's kind of why you have assistant principals and deans and principals. So
and there are real penalties laid out too, right?
Yeah, it's kind of explicit. So it's not like this for this kid and that for that kid. It's kind of a strike one, strike two, strike three. But what we will have to do is manage it more globally at the admin level, so that if there's a strike one in an English class, but then there's a strike one in a math class, as far as those teachers know, it's strike one, but it really could be strike two or many, many more. So we have to do a good job of like logging incidents, communicating with the staff, and trying to be consistent as we manage this new rule.
That's a whole new ballgame for you guys.
People did a heck of a job managing it in their own classrooms over the past number of years.
Yeah.
We used to ask staff to have kids walk in the room, check their phone in like a shoe organizer. Some companies make specifically 4 phones or 4 calculators, but be numbered and labeled. And teachers that are very organized would even like take class attendance based on how many phones were there.
Sure, yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm like 20 years removed from high school. It doesn't feel that long ago to me, but like it's a whole different environment. Like, are there even textbooks anymore? Are you guys like straight up?
It's a bit of a balance. In like I think like 9th grade biology, I can still picture every freshman having these giant, yellow and white biology books. Yeah. But there's still online curriculum that goes with that. And
so it's not all digital.
It's a mix.
Because I just look at the real world and I see like all the technology that's out there, and it must be. I mean, I applaud you guys for trying to put this new thing in place. I think a lot of schools are across the country because it can be so distracting, right? I mean, I saw a girl bump into a girl at the coffee shop today because she was texting and walking, which is dangerous. It's like they're always on them, so it's a whole different world in that regard. But I don't know. Maybe you missed the old textbook days a little bit yourself. I don't know, but
I mean, I think the bigger message is to try to teach kids at this age self-regulation. Yeah, and the phone is a big piece of that this day and age. Probably not the only thing in terms of self-regulation. So, and knowing that we only have these kids for about 7 hours a day, there's a large part of their life when they're not in the building. Yeah. So just a big part is to have focus and kind of dialed in during instructional time. Yeah. And then there's a lot of opportunity to be on a digital device. It's just meant to be a different device with different tools. Yeah. And hopefully more academically focused tools.
And honestly, it's probably good. Like, I try to take myself away from the phone. Like in my business, the media world, you always get your phone, and whether it be social media or emails or text messages, like there's always back and forth. You feel like you're kind of always connected, always on call. It's kind of nice to put it down for a little bit. Like, I don't know, maybe some students will like find that's kind of a nice peace of mind sort of thing.
Yeah, we had some of our upperclassmen 2 years ago entering last school year for part of the summer reading curriculum. So rising juniors read a book called Accountable, and then maybe rising seniors read a book called Atomic Habits. And that part about building healthy habits and self-regulation, we had some of our senior leaders start to share their stories about what they were doing, like challenge themselves to go 1 day with no social media, and try to go 2 days, 3 days, or simple things like not sleeping with your phone next to your bed because you end up wasting minutes and hours quickly without knowing it, scrolling mindlessly, or charge it in the kitchen, charge it in the living room, just to kind of drop it and step away from it. So
I found myself in that.
To a point where the school day is like that, that would be nice.
I have found myself in that endless tunnel. And you're like, wait, I was scrolling there for 45 minutes. How'd that happen? Yeah. It's crazy. I was laughing because you had our producer here, Maeve Power, who's running this show. You had her, she was under your regime here. And it is funny because you had to ask what principal she had because you.
Yes. What year did you graduate?
I always wondered that.
To blend together.
I was going to ask that with the high school teachers. Like, it must be impossible. Like, I see some of I saw an old high school teacher of mine like a couple months ago, and I remember thinking, like, he asked me, he goes, now what grade were you? And I remember him as knowing all of us very well, and then but for him it must have all got mixed up over the years because like who graduated with who. And does that ever get like kind of weird? You get these, like you said, you get these kids for 4 years, and then they move on and go do, and then you get a whole new batch. Is it kind of an odd feeling sometimes?
I mean, there's been thousands of students that I've had
it's crazy
that have gone on. If we have almost 200 a year,
right?
It's my 15th year, so now some of these kids are not kids, or they're having families, or they're coming back and wanting to live back in the community and marry. I'm like, oh man, how did I get to be such an old man?
I know. I guess that's part of life, right? But but no, I've always thought that's kind of an interesting thing at this high school level in particular, because and I think a lot of them do probably check in and come back to be parts of programs, but a lot of them don't, and you just cross paths or maybe see them online or something. I don't know. It's it must be kind of a weird feeling.
No, it's cool. But now it's a lot of families now having their second kid through or now. So get to know, make connections with a lot of the people.
When they do come back, that must be pretty rewarding for administrations. Like, had like a really great experience. And,
just checking in, how you doing? And particularly around like the Thanksgiving game is a big draw. So I kind of lose track of time. Like with Maeve, I say, how long ago did you graduate? But you'll see people at the Thanksgiving game and just try to recall the names. Right?
Yeah, they
That's
should have to
hard
wear name tags. My goodness, that can be impossible. So without cell phones, I get joined here by Mike Testa. He's the assistant principal over at Newburyport High School here. As school gets underway, very exciting. What are like first week struggles like at school? Like what's the
for a kid or for a teacher? Or
well, let's go from your perspective first. Then you can tell me what you think overall is the biggest.
We have had our new teacher orientation over a few days leading up to, and then on the
So the teachers will have no issues. They're
yeah,
all
and then the
perfect.
Tuesday and Wednesday after the Labor Day weekend, all staff come into all the buildings.
Okay.
And kind of a district meeting, a lot of building time, like try to give the teachers time in their departments, time to set up their classrooms.
Yep.
And then the first 2 days for students, the first day of school and second day of school, we will run kind of a funky schedule that is not the same as any other day so that the admin team can access all the kids by grade level in the morning. So we almost do, even though we don't have a homeroom,
Yep.
we have all the kids kind of go to a starting point. So there's a lot of logistics we got to get out of the way the first couple of days. Like
Sure.
kind of setting the tone, setting the expectations, talking about the cell phone rule, but
Yep.
doing that from an admin presentation for about 30 minutes per grade.
Yep.
So we'll do like seniors and juniors on this first day, and we'll do 10th and 9th the next day.
Gotcha.
And then the kids will see all of their teachers across those first 2 days. So they're getting course expectation sheets, finding out what materials and supplies do I need to go out and purchase that I didn't know I needed to have today. So,
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of
and
that.
then once we come back in after that weekend, after this, hopefully we get into a cycle of
Yep.
our 3-day rotation and things being normal and everything working well, and finding out we don't have 400 kids in one lunch period and 100 kids in another lunch period.
Yeah.
Things are all smooth running and we're fully staffed and the building's working good and all those things.
Do you generally find on these early days, is there like excitement in the air to be back at school, or is it good buzz, or is it like, I'm sure you get at least part of it that's like, I'd rather be at the beach, it's still nice out, you know?
I think there's a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of energy around the building and having the kids and all staff back in. Teachers are refreshed, they're ready to rock and do their thing, and kids are happy to see all their friends again and wear their outfits that they picked for the first day of school.
That's true. That was always a big thing.
That's
too.
a big one.
Back to school outfits. Do you remember besides technology, what's like the biggest thing like that maybe I don't even recognize from 20 years ago for me being in high school? What's the biggest like change I would notice when I walk into a high school building these days?
I'd say probably, I don't know what your experience was, but maybe less traditional instruction, meaning like less just direct instruction, the stand and deliver.
Sure.
Still appropriate to have time and place for lecture, but more time for kids to collaborate, to interact, to like build something together, to create a project together, demonstrate your knowledge in more than just a sit-down test.
Less
Although
focus
there
on the
is
teacher.
time and place for all of that too.
Gotcha.
So I'd say more emphasis on like creating and collaborating.
Okay.
And more student-centered in general.
Is that a Newburyport thing, or is that like a national kind of?
We're trying to be, really
trendsetter.
strong in that, but
Yeah.
I think you're going to find that other places too.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess that because I mean, if you listen to the same guy or woman talk up there for hours and hours, that can get. You're right. It's for a high school kid, attention spans, right? You gotta keep them moving or whatever.
And also trying to, not just deliver like a great high school experience, but let students leave with a plan, knowing that like 4-year college might not be for everybody.
Yeah.
And to kind of have that mindset built in starting early on that it might be a different type of school, it could be a different type of training, it could be a military, it could be the world of work, a gap year. So I think in a pretty high-performing school district like Newburyport, there's a lot of implied pressure on kids, whether from seeing what their friends are doing, their older siblings, the cohorts of kids that have gone before them, but to just give kids more options.
It's funny you say that because that is such a hot topic these days, especially with college. Everybody knows the price of an education and student loans. I still have student loans. I was a Danvers High boy, and it's funny you phrased it that way because I always felt like college was the only play.
Yeah, well, I got
like
two on my own, so let's not talk about loans. They're coming up.
How old are yours?
Rising a senior now and a junior now, but not in Newburyport.
Not in Newburyport.
No,
okay.
so yeah, I feel you on that one.
But I mean, but for me, it was always like that's just what you do. There was no everybody goes to college.
I think my experience. It was not really entertaining. What would it look like if you didn't?
Yeah.
My
worst. I would never. College was great. I enjoyed it. I think it was good for me. But I do remember my first boss taking my resume and going, "Nice. All right. Now tell me about yourself." And I was like, "Whoa. I worked really hard on that. You get a longer look.
Yeah.
Read that thing a little more. And I was like devastated.
Yeah.
And it is. I think a lot of jobs are less about that and more what kind of person are you? But then all, college helps develop you too, of course. But yeah, it is interesting just to see the different perspectives on, and the schools it's nice to probably give whether it be trade schools or or no school. I don't know, whatever you want to pursue in life. It is nice to at least explore the other options, I guess.
Yeah, we've built a partnership with the Peterson Trade School, so we've had some students start to study plumbing and electrical. That's been kind of subsidized and assisted through the district and the generosity of the NEF. So it's giving kids just other opportunities to kind of enter senior year with having a summer of experience between junior and senior. So
there's
started
always
with a
a
small
need.
Cohort. Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure.
Well, that's good. That's I think I knew that, but yeah, that's a good reminder that you've done that. How about so when you have these kids that come up to you, I imagine assistant principal is probably one of those, I don't know, soundboard positions where, like, if someone, maybe a junior or senior, is asking you about, what do you think about this school or that school? Or
sometimes I hope they would talk to their school counselor first.
You're an approachable guy. I bet you do get it sometimes.
Yeah,
though.
but and in my role, I'm not really supposed to be writing college recommendations.
Okay,
I think they are supposed to ask a counselor or a classroom teacher, but I have done that too. So, and it's almost more of a character reference because I get to see the kids in a variety of settings.
Yeah.
So I kind of can see the way that they act in a crowd and as a fan and as an athlete.
Sure.
And just in the cafeteria, not just the lens that a teacher might see of that kid.
Yep.
In their content area where they may excel in. So it's nice to kind of get
rules,
to see
Drew.
kids.
God damn it, there's rules. Oh, that's very funny. How about your kids? Not in this community, but do you? There must be kind of a unique perspective when they come home with, whether it be just differences in Newburyport. Oh, okay, they're doing it that way there.
Yeah,
okay.
and they both started school last week, so they had to do their 2 days like I used to do. So
yeah.
It is funny. My wife is a school counselor in Andover. I have a daughter at Amesbury, another daughter at Essex Tech, and I'm in Newburyport. So it's like, you should see it on a potential snow day in my house. We're waiting on four different districts to make a call.
That is chaos.
And it's like, I got it. And then it's like, come on.
On a snow day. That is very funny.
And luckily, there haven't been a lot. We had one last year, and it was like they came trickling in one after the next. So
that is funny. I can imagine that. It can throw off your whole day.
But it's also an opportunity. Like, I can go to like a presentation at one of the other schools, that like a parent night, and go, ooh, they do that pretty well. Or it's nice, their whole admin team, they're wearing like their own, shirts, ties, dresses, but they all look spiffy in the school colors. We should do that, and try to steal some stuff. So.
I mean, all schools must steal from each other. All the good, try to steal the good stuff, right? It's just natural.
Or it could be like, oh man, do I look like that when I'm up there?
Yeah, it could be the other way. You're right.
Time to refine that presentation.
Well, hey, that Newburyport basketball shirt is pretty prime right there. I'm liking that. And he's not giving it back again. Just
that's correct. It's going in my closet, not in the cage. Thank you, Miss Cutter. Mr. Vito.
It's a great fit, and good luck to the boys basketball team. The winter will. It's amazing when you look at it through sports seasons. Because I sometimes, like you mentioned, Thanksgiving for me, like obviously the end of football, the seasons like fly by. Like this one's already off and running, right? Like the spring season, like it's
first home football game Friday night.
It's unbelievable.
I think we're hosting Masco. So
when do they practice? Like, so they still get to practice like 2 weeks before school?
Yeah, golf and football can start a little bit earlier prior to the other sports, but then each coach will have generally a couple of days of double sessions. I think there's a max to how many practice sessions you can have. A pretty robust scrimmage schedule, so they're getting that game experience for all the sports. So it's busy.
Do you have any like changes to like fan policy? I mean, I'm sure you just say be respectful.
That's all been with our new athletic director coming on board. I don't think there's going to be any broad sweeping changes. More like a year of observation and feedback and see what things should be tweaked. But we've put a lot of emphasis in the last few years into having like fan student leaders. Yeah. So to have kids, and usually it's the same cohort of kids that wouldn't be a football player because that's our biggest crowd.
Sure.
And you want a non-football player to kind of lead the student section, whether it's what the theme is going to be, what the chants are going to be. So an emphasis across the league on fan sportsmanship. Yeah. No names, no numbers, no taunting, those kinds of things. You're there to support your team, not to get on the other team or the officials, those kinds of things. And we do a good job supervising with that. And the student leaders have really been one of the most effective ways to kind of communicate that positive message. And they're awesome.
You guys have always had, I think of like some of I used to call the hockey games, and that's a intense environment. Yeah. And then loud, but I mean, it's it's a tough place to play when you have those, which is good. You want
Right,
that,
yeah, it's
but
loud.
you also, when you're that loud, you also want to be respectful. So it's a good
Yeah, those winter indoor
small
venues,
venue. Yeah,
like, you go to some of these basketball arenas, even like ours, like you can hear everything the coach is saying in a timeout.
sure.
Maybe not so much Newburyport, but some other venues where there's seating on both sides.
Yep.
We don't allow our fans to sit. There's no seating behind the benches
Yeah.
for the home or the opposing team. But the acoustics in those venues, whether it's the basketball court, the graph, it's just like boom. And it is intense.
Is there I mean, I'm not sure if you know this, and maybe nobody knows until the year gets going, but is there still a referee issue? Because I remember referee shortage was a real thing
Yeah,
at the
it's
high
tough.
school level.
It's tough, which is another big reason why we try to have appropriate fans, and not just student appropriate fans, right? So that's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough at the youth level and all the way up, getting
How does
good,
that
good
work?
officials.
Is that your job when it because you're right. I said kids, but adults can be just as bad. It's amazing when you get into sport environments. Adults can lose themselves. Like otherwise good people, like turn into monsters.
A different switch goes off.
It's amazing.
You should sit alone, so your kid can't hear you, and so no one else can.
Exactly. I mean, is that
I have friends that are some of those parents.
I know,
right? And they know it though. They
Yeah. But it's hard to watch. And somebody, I mean, I imagine sometimes you guys have to say something to a parent.
Yeah.
That's a hard job to do.
Yeah, sometimes just what you're wearing and the proximity to the potential issue could be enough to diffuse it.
Oh, yeah.
You're maybe directly in between the opposing fans and the home fans,
Yeah.
just to kind of be a presence. And if you approach people in a calming way, that usually is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, let's tone it down. It's kids' sports here.
Yeah, I know. As a man, I umpired baseball games, Little League games, and the Little League level is parents lose themselves, I don't,
It's just...
never mind high school. it's crazy. But yeah, hopefully we're getting better with that. I do think it will always be
Luckily,
a problem.
that's not a big problem.
Not a big problem.
It is a big problem when it happens in isolation. It's something that you don't really look forward to dealing with, but people are generally great.
You don't want to be that viral video that goes across Instagram.
Let's avoid that.
See enough of those across the country, right? Again, Mike Testa joining us. Oh, it is your first time on the show, which means you have to do rapid fire real quick. First thing that comes to mind, you must answer. It's easy, although some people have struggled before. But we'll get to know you a little bit. This is a fun way to. We always end the show with our first time guest. I still can't believe this is your first time on the show, but I'm excited about it. All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Water swig. We'll start easy. Favorite food?
Steak.
Favorite TV show?
Seinfeld.
Nice. Mine too. And I don't think I've ever had a Seinfeld answer. As simple as it is. Weird, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that would be the most common or something. Favorite musician?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
And I can't even pick a genre to tell you the truth, but Jason Aldean.
All right. Jason Aldean. He's a country fan. You like the country music? Very good. Yeah. It's complicated.
Somehow that was probably started in the 20-something years ago when I got my wife.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It was all more kind of rock alternative
country,
rock,
yeah.
Back in the Godsmack era when those guys were big.
There you go. I feel like we almost had you opening up there. That was
all right, sorry, I'm going off. I'm certainly not rapid fire anymore.
No, that's okay. That's why we do it, because it does tend to branch into things. Favorite movie?
Either Shawshank Redemption, Spaceballs.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of all over the place.
Balanced man. I like it.
Yeah, Braveheart.
Yeah, all right. Favorite book? You already name dropped a couple today.
This one I read, actually not favorite of all time, but I think this one's called Four for the Road that I read at school about a year or two ago.
Okay.
It was pretty cool.
All right. Best advice for the the incoming high schooler, like middle schooler, about to embark on the high school career?
Don't get overstressed.
Yep.
Be prepared for some bumps in the road, and ask for help, whether that's a peer, a parent, an admin, a teacher. People want to see you do well.
Overstress is a good thing, because it does happen, right?
Yeah, it's just so much, for the new students, new incoming freshmen, kids from other districts, upperclassmen, there's a lot to take in when it's who are these people, and new courses, new expectations, the workload might be harder, there's a lot coming at kids, but...
And just a new building too, right?
You are resilient, and it's going to go well. It goes well for the vast, vast majority of people.
You're not on your own either, right?
And have fun.
Yeah, and have fun.
Yeah.
I like that. Best professional advice you ever received?
Ooh. Take a breath, take some time before responding to a challenging call or a challenging email. Chances are it's not like an imminent emergency. You can
Yeah.
run it by a colleague. You can think it through in your head a couple of times, and
Yeah.
kind of like how we talk, think before you send.
Yep.
Whether that's a social media or it used to be just purely email.
Yep.
Like that, kind of take that breath first, particularly if it's something that you think is like causing you anxiety
Yep.
and stress, then you're probably not going to respond in the way you want to represent yourself.
I like that answer in rapid fire. Slow it down.
Yeah, just like pause.
That's true on social media too, right? I mean, you almost should, because that stuff, I think kids, I think they probably get it now, but I remember when social media was kind of new, there was like, maybe not scandals, but there was like stuff coming out of school. Well, this person wrote this, and then that started a thing with another school. And like, not, I don't mean Newburyport, but I just remember hearing stories like that, and I was like, that's going to be a problem. Like, if kids don't realize what they put out in the world, that you have to treat it just like you're saying something in real life. Like, it's not, you don't get to hide behind your posts, you know? It does seem like that world has gotten a little better, maybe. Kids know how to use it responsibly, but
Hopefully.
yeah, I know. No, I think it's just an extension of yourself, right? Use it correctly. I don't know. Anything you want to say to the kids that are getting going here today?
Oh man, it's going to be an awesome year. I am glad that you guys are back in the building. My job, it's weird because it gets very quiet in the summer. Yeah. There's still stuff to do, but I don't like the office work component of the job. Yeah. This role is not about sitting and looking at a computer and just planning and planning and planning and planning. So it's awesome to have the kids back in the building. It's going to be a great year, and just keep the enthusiasm up, bring the energy.
Awesome. I like that. You're happy to have everybody back. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I like this job because of the kids. You take away the 750 kids, it's not the same.
It's just, you got to deal with Andy Wolf all day. You know? Just kidding, Principal Andy Wolf. We'll have him on next week, too, actually.
Oh, nice.
As things get going as well. So we're
give you a big go Clippers at the end, hopefully.
Yes, he does like that. I know he's fantastic about that. It's great to meet you, Mike, in person.
Yeah.
I've heard so much about you. Thanks for coming on to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you to Maeve Power, our producer here, doing the hard work as always. As I just interview interesting people. Sarah Hayden, the boss, Lily Doucette, Ryan Rothberg, our small but mighty team here in Newburyport. We thank you all so much. Kids, have a great school year. We're off and running. Where'd my summer go? Have a great school year, and it's going to be great. We'll see you next time live at Drew's house. Peace.